Hello people of the internet, my name is Creation and today I have a very electrifying topic to share with you guys, mostly inspired by past events that have been going on in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the state of competitive Battlefield 4 and also where are first-person shooters going at as a whole, and could they possibly be dying out of mainstream media. So my story starts around 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I was offered a possible opportunity to go out and travel with a company to go and promote their tournaments. Now these tournaments are very diversified. There are some first person shooters and there are some MMOs. But what I did notice, there was no Battlefield lineup. No Battlefield 3, no Battlefield 4. But coincidentally, they had Halo 3, which I thought was very funny because it's a very old game, but it rocks. So seeing no Battlefield in a roster of a tournament this size, and seeing that Battlefield 4 just came out a few months ago, I started to ask the why question. Why did they avoid Battlefield in their lineup? I mean, like, Battlefield 3 was a pretty tight game, not saying that it didn't have any issues, but clearly somewhere the Battlefield name has been garnished, where a company doesn't really want to be associated with it. When asked, the company told me that the necessary elements weren't there to go competitive. They felt that it was an unfair advantage for the players, and without some way to record everything that is going on the server, it makes it one hard experience to monitor player activity. Basically, the absence of a battle recorder. Now, I do think that a battle recorder would be nice, but it would have to be more of an optional thing like Commander or Spectators, where the admin has a say if it's off or on. But we are here to answer, what is the state of competitive Battlefield 4? And the very sad answer to hear is that there is no state. Competitive Battlefield 4 died off as soon as the game launched, with no battle recorder and a ton of issues. Yeah, and it's sad because I really wanted to see a competitive scene for a Battlefield game. Now, Battlefield 3, I know it was some competitiveness, but without a spectator mode and definitely no battle recorder, it's very hard to make that happen. But still, there was these smaller private matches going on all over the world with my favorite game type of the game, SWAT Rush. And we no longer see these tournaments pretty much anywhere. The biggest tournament that I know that concerns a Battlefield game is over in the EU, and it's sponsored by EA. That's pretty much EA paying the company to go and play the game. So I'm not really sure where that counts. But competitive Battlefield 4 doesn't really exist. Will it exist at all in another Battlefield title? Well, the requirements are very little. First, we have to have a working, complete game at launch. Most of the hype and reviews start there. Then, we will have to have some type of battle recorder and spectator mode. But the funny thing that I eventually saw that raises another question is that at this tournament, they were going to play Call of Duty Ghosts. And if you guys haven't kept up with Call of Duty, you will know that they no longer have theater mode. Basically, the guys who developed Call of Duty said it slows down the game, and this is why you have so weird hit detection. But the guys at the tournament still thought it was a great idea, that it fit the criteria of what they wanted. So there is not just battle recorder. It is the state of the game itself. And you guys have to realize that if the game has horrible, frustrating gameplay, no competitive gaming company wants to show that off. It is not fun for the players, nor is it fun for the audience. And I think Call of Duty got away with it because it is one of the most popular games in the first-person shooter genre. And that brings us to our first-person shooters dying. Now, I was recently on a podcast with another YouTuber called iPhone Star for Hire, where we discussed were first-person shooters dying and where's the first-person shooter genre going in the future. Now, if you go out and do watch the podcast, I'm a bit trolly because I'm trying to get conversation started between the group. But here are my true thoughts that you might not have caught if you watched that video. One being that first-person shooters have to innovate to keep an audience. No one wants to play the same game every year, and it's very hard to keep a game simple but add on to it. And our most recent example is Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty tried to innovate, it tried to improve itself, it tried to show the community that it wasn't the same game every year. But this backfired because of the poor map to player ratio. To me, it's all out of balance, it feels slow, it feels weird, and I really don't like it. But Black Ops 2 had a more fast-paced feel, and it was pushed for Major League Gaming. It had all these great features that made competitive gaming an easier thing to do. And with so many games coming out, which I'm not saying it's bad, I love the diversity of gaming right now. And I'm not saying that, okay, first-person shooters are just going to go away. But I think as times go on, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, we're going to see a greater push for non-AAA games and a bigger push for indie games and MMOs. But I may be wrong, so let me know your thoughts on anything we discussed today. But if you guys want to know, I am looking forward to one first-person shooter coming out very soon, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 3. But that is all the time we have to journey. I'll see you guys in our next adventure. Stay creative.